Nigeria. We understand the Super Eagles of Nigeria have returned to training in Rabat, Morocco, ahead of today's 2026 FIFA World Cup African playoffs semi-final against Gabon after resolving issues affecting their match bonuses with the Nigerian Football Federation. Now, media officer of the team disclosed this yesterday, and Eric Chelsman boycotted what would have been their second training section on Tuesday in protest of unfulfilled promises by the Nigerian Football Federation over their entitlements. Now, with the development, the Super Eagles would have had only one training section with the entire squad before the crucial game. Now, US-based journalists, Collins would also share his thoughts, on the game, and so many sports pundits down here in Nigeria, also gave their opinion about this particular one, talking about Super Eagles of Nigeria boycotting training ahead of that encounter against Gabon today. But in Sidibe, what do you make of the preparation of the Super Eagles of Nigeria against a crucial clash today against Gabon?
Well, their preparations would have been better if the NFF did what they're supposed to do. The players are doing their part, but the federation will also have to, take responsibility and ensure that these players, the team, are well prepared. But at this instance, they didn't do that, and it becomes a problem for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. I know that a lot of people are thinking, or they are saying that the Super Eagles of Nigeria, the players are sabotaging their chances of playing in the World Cup. But we've seen this over and over again. We've seen this particular script from the NFF, not from the players. The players they've always been very understanding with the national team, and we keep seeing this happening over and over again. We make promises to them, and they will not keep to the promises. So I'm in total support of the action that they took and the result that it has brought. If they didn't do that, they wouldn't have gotten the results that they have gotten. But going back to playing football, I think the players understand why they must qualify for the World Cup. We miss out going to the last FIFA World Cup. For a country like Nigeria, we need to be playing at the World Cup. We are one of the powerhouses we are not one of the powerhouses in Africa in world football, but we are certainly up there with one of the teams that people want to see playing in the World Cup or at the World Cup. So I think the players understand what's at stake. They understand that they need to put their minds to it. They need to prepare very well. I think mentally they are very ready to play this particular game. They are ready to win Gabon, and it's for them to go out there on the pitch of play and win the game. Because if they don't, a lot of people will accuse them that they have jeopardized the opportunity of playing at the World Cup because they were asking for money. But nobody works for free for over 6 years, and you're still working, and your employer is not paying you. If I'm an employee, you owe me 2 months. I'm off. I'm no longer working for you. So it's a situation that Nigeria needs to control better going forward. But at the same time, I think the Super Eagles they are ready. I look at the players. I see the way they behave. I see the way they carry themselves. You look at the charisma in the captain William Trusito. You look at Victor Osimhen, the form that he is, and he's ready. He's ready to ball out and ensure that he gets Nigeria the particular way and qualify to the African playoffs finals.
Some person are of the opinion that it wasn't a good move, from the players. That this is a crucial time that Nigeria, of course, need to qualify for the World Cup. That this, of course, was not a good time for them to maybe put up a protest in demand of for their match bonuses, maybe allowances, to say at this point in time. What do you make of that? You think it was a wrong time, or you think this is actually the right time for the players, to demand for their bonuses?
I think it was the perfect time for them to demand for it, because we've seen how the NFF will promise these players that they are going to pay this, they are going to pay to qualify for the World Cup first. Which I think some years ago we saw this. They qualify for the World Cup first, after the qualification, all the players that protested, they were dropped from the team that went to the World Cup. So it's not a new script from the NFF. We've seen them do this over and over again. So I think it was the perfect time for the players, to come together and decided to do this. And I will tell you for a fact that I am 100% behind what they've done. Even if that will cost Nigeria the World Cup ticket, let it cost Nigeria the World Cup ticket. But we have to keep exposing the rots in our football. The NFF is a corrupt organization. You could even say it's a criminal organization. The people that are there, they've turned it into criminality. They've turned it into their personal business of embezzling money, not utilizing the funds that they are receiving from FIFA, from the federation, and even from sponsorship. They are owing players. Imagine if they are owing the Super Eagles, players of the Super Eagles, they are owing the likes of Osimhen, who can speak up, the likes of William Trosigo, who can speak up. Then what happens to the rest of the national team? We've heard stories of the under 17 being paid 100,000 naira representing Nigeria, 100,000 naira that is not even enough to book a flight ticket from Rio to Lagos. So you understand what's happening, and I think it's the perfect time for the Super Eagles players to have protest, and I am in full support that they did what they did, and it's now time for the NFF, to put their houses in, to put their house in order. And I want to thank Nigerians for coming out and trying to expose, asking the right questions, because we've not been asking these questions. A big kudos to Mobike for starting this particular campaign to Nigerian football. When he started this, the NFF, they came out, they were telling stories, telling us that it's for specific purposes. This particular money is for this. They contradicted themselves. Sheudigo was saying that Nigeria and other, the NFF did not get any money directly from FIFA. That is FIFA that handle all their projects. Stuff like this. It's something that these guys are doing, and no one is asking questions. And now that we are asking questions, we are beginning to see results. Even the players are beginning to be on that. We've given the players the confidence to ask these questions and to demand for what's their right, and they are getting it. So I'm happy. It's a good time. It's a perfect time. If they didn't protest at this time, it would have been a huge problem for them to get their bonuses. So I think for me, it was a perfect time for them to protest, and thank goodness that with their wisdom, it wasn't in the UAE. It was in the UAE. It could have been something else, because we know how angry Nigerian fans, supporters are for the football lovers in Nigeria. We are now beginning to enlighten the ordinary Nigerian supporter now to understand what's happening in the NFL. So I think if it was Leo, it would have turned into a serious protest from the supporters. But thank God it was in Morocco, and just very few persons have opportunity to be there, and we will take the results. So I'm in full support. I think it was a perfect time for them to protest and get what is rightfully theirs.
Not a perfect preparation, of course, you say down there, for the Super Eagles of Nigeria ahead of today's clash against Gabon. You think with very poor preparation, will it affect the performance of the players? And as well, do you see Super Eagles getting the win, against Gabon today?
I wouldn't say it's totally a very poor preparation. They've only missed one training session, and that's a lot. They've missed one training session. But I think they trained yesterday, and the coach must have passed all the necessary information on to them. For me, I think it's about the mentality going into the game. It's not even about how many training sessions do they have. What do they really do when they train? It's about tactics. It's about discussion. It's something that they could have been discussing with the coaches while they were not training. So I wouldn't call it a very terrible preparation. They are preparing well. Mentally, they are very strong. They want to qualify Nigeria for the World Cup, and I believe that they are going to do it. So I wouldn't say it was a terrible preparation, but I look at Nigeria, I look at the determination that we showed in the last game against Benin Republic. I wouldn't have believed my eyes. I would have beaten Benin Republic 4-0, but we did that. It wasn't because the game was split. It was because the Super Eagles were superior individually tactically, the players put their minds to it and wanted to play this particular game, wanted to win that particular game. They knew what was at stake, and they went out there and they beat Benin Republic. But I think in this particular game, it's still going to be the same game. They understand that they need to win this game, and it's something that I believe I believe strongly that they can do it. I also glad that they've taken their time to study the Gabon national team, because you have to look at what Gabon are doing. They have some very good players. Look at the captain, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. He scored 4 goals in the last game. They have some very good team, and they are well disciplined team to have made it this far to the playoffs. So I think my only worry is if Nigeria have taken their time to look at the opponent that they are playing today, and to ensure that they understand where they are coming from, the team that they possess, and how to nullify them. When you look at that and you go out to play your game, I think they stand a very big chance of winning this particular game. And like I said, mentally, these guys are prepared and they want to be at the World Cup, and they are ready to put in all the fights and to win the game. But it's football, anything can happen.